Hi, everybody, and I would like to welcome you to the 3 Tools to Help You Plan Ahead webinar. I'm Heather Wilson. I'm a Community Engagement Specialist, and I live in Michigan.
Hi, I'm Mary Catherine Hines. I'm the Director of Fundraising Strategy, and I live in Raleigh, North Carolina.
And we're going to let Mary Catherine kick us off.
Great, thanks. So during National Estate Planning Awareness Week, many of our donors have been surprised to learn just how beneficial giving stock can be for tax savings and the impact that they want to have. So we thought, why don't we share a bit more about what we've been learning and some of the new tools that Church Will Service has launched to help our donors have a bigger impact on the causes that they care about. Now, I said I'm Director of Fundraising Strategy. I am a fundraiser. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax attorney. So I'm just going to share with you what I know and what we have been learning as far as giving charitable gifts in some tax savvy ways. But I really want to encourage you that if you like any of these options and you want to know more, reach out to us, but also reach out to your trusted advisors. Before we jump in, Heather, are there any housekeeping items that we need to know about or that folks watching today should know?
Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, I would like to let everybody know that the chat for this is on the left side of your screen, and it will be a vertical white box, and that's the toolbox. And inside that are icons, and there is a chat icon. If you click on that, you can open up the chat, and please do type in questions as you think of them as you're watching Mary Catherine in the webinar today. And know that any questions that you do ask, we will get back to you. We will answer those within the next week.
Wonderful, great. So hopefully we'll cover everything you want to know in this presentation. If not, we'll be in touch. So let's jump right in. So our goals for you today is to know 3 ways that you can make a transformational impact in the world. So by the end of the session, you'll know more about how to donate stock, donating from your individual retirement account, and the importance of writing a will. We'll also go over some of the benefits of these non-cash ways to give, the benefits to you as a donor, and make sure that you know where to find some tools that can help you and your financial advisor to make some of these decisions. You know, we know that Church Will Service supporters have generous hearts and that you care deeply about many causes, but not everyone knows some of these more nuanced ways to give, these tax savvy ways to give, like giving stocks and bonds. So, and you may not recognize how these gifts can really transform communities and impact the causes that you care most about. So whether you're today thinking about gifts to your alma mater or your faith community, or maybe it's Church Will Service, I want to make sure that whatever nonprofit you're supporting, that you know how you can give more effectively and have an even bigger impact. So let's jump into stocks. So why stocks? Well, stocks are the savviest way to give, because when you give stock instead of just writing a check, you save on 2 types of taxes. So so many of our supporters are actually choosing to donate stock over cash. They've been giving cash, but now they've decided to give us stock instead. And because they've learned that you can avoid capital gains, so that's the tax you pay on what you've earned when your stock goes up. So if your stock grows, you have to pay tax on that growth as part of your income. And then also, when you give stock, it decreases your taxable income, so you can save on your state and federal income tax. So you can take that deduction on your taxes. So you save in 2 ways. So let's break this down a little bit. I have a fictional illustration thanks to our partners at an organization called Free Will. They shared with us this fictional example. So here we see Ruth and her husband. They live in Chicago, and they are loyal supporters of Feeding America, giving cash every year. And this year, Ruth said, I want to give a $30,000 gift. And She could either give cash, or she could give some stock. She's got Amazon stock. So let's talk about the benefits of giving Amazon stock. So say she bought 10 shares of Amazon stock in 2019 at 10,000, and now they're worth 30,000. So as soon as she sells her stock, she gains $20,000 in income. So capital gains tax is about 20%. So Ruth would have to pay $4,000 in capital gains on that stock that she sells. Then because she gained that money in her income, she's also going to pay the state of Illinois $990 in tax. So she will then pay $4,990 in taxes on that $30,000 sell of her Amazon stock. If Ruth, instead of selling the stock and writing a check, if she just transfers that stock to Feeding America, let's see the benefits that that's going to have for her. So when she transfers that $30,000 gift, she can take a full tax deduction for that full value of the $30,000 gift. So Ruth is probably at about the 35% tax rate. So she's going to save about $10,500 in federal taxes. So that gift is going to be deducted from her taxable income and save her about $10,000. Plus, she doesn't have to pay the capital gains because she didn't earn anything off that stock. She gave it to Feeding America, so she doesn't have the $4,990 or the $10,000 in federal taxes. So she is able to avoid $15,490 in tax saving in taxes. So which is over half of that gift that she would be giving to Feeding America. So definitely a much smarter way to give, to transfer that stock. This is great if you've got stock that has really grown, so you're going to have a significant capital gains, or maybe you have some stock that you don't have proof of what it cost when you bought it, and so you have no way to, so you're going to have to pay on all of it. So if you don't have kind of that base for your stock, that's also a great stock to be able to donate to someone else, one that you don't have a cost basis. So stocks. Let's talk about our individual retirement accounts, IRA.
Well, before we do that, Mary Catherine, I do have a question as I'm listening to you. One of my questions is if we have a supporter and they want to designate their stock to a particular program at Church World Service or to a particular walk, can they do that?
Definitely. Great question. I'm so glad you asked that. Yes, you can. If Ruth wanted to give her Amazon stock to support the Chicago Crop Hunger Walk, she could do that. At Church World Service, we are happy to apply that stock gift to wherever you're passionate about. So if it's water projects or refugee resettlement or a local crop hunger walk, yes, we can definitely designate that gift. So great question.
Well, I have another one too. Before you get too far into the IRA, you know, I have, everybody has a lot of people have the 401ks, and we know what those are, but what is an IRA?
Great. Yeah, good question. Thanks. All these acronyms, it's good to define them. So IRAs are individual retirement accounts, and these are ways for people to save money for retirement every year. And so they're really helpful because you can put in pre-tax money. So you take directly from your paycheck into an IRA before it's taxed. So you don't pay any capital gains on the growth, but you do pay income taxes when you take the money out of your IRA. So you're putting money in every year, and then when you get to retirement age, you take it out and you have to pay taxes on it, but you don't pay anything along the way. So it's a great way to save for your retirement. And one of the things you can do is you can make a charitable distribution. You can pull out money from your IRA to provide a gift to a charity, and it's called a qualified charitable distribution, or QCD is what a lot of people call them. It's also known as an IRA charitable rollover gift. You might hear that from your financial advisor. And basically, you can take money from your IRA and transfer it directly to a nonprofit charity. It has to be a certified nonprofit, 501c3, but you can transfer it directly from your IRA to a charity, and you can give up to $100,000 annually from your IRA. So now normally when you take funds out of your traditional IRA, it counts towards your annual income. So that increases your overall tax burden. In some cases, it can move you even into a higher tax bracket. So you take your money out of your IRA, your income goes up, you have to pay more in taxes. However, when you do this QCD, that's an exception to the rule, because the funds that you take out go to your charity without needing to be withdrawn. So it helps you to avoid those higher taxes. So you can give up to 100 annually or 200 per couple. Now, there are some requirements to give this charitable distribution from your IRA. You have to be over 70 and a half years old. And it has to come from a traditional IRA, and a 401k is not eligible. So it's from a traditional IRA. Now, it is eligible to do them from a Roth IRA, but those Roth IRAs are already tax-free. Roth IRAs you put in after tax. And so when you pull it out, you don't have to pay taxes. So you can still give from there, but it's not as, you're not going to save yourself in taxes by giving a gift through your Roth IRA. You really want to look at your traditional IRA to give you the best tax benefits. So what's the benefit? So a little bit more about the IRA so that you understand the benefit of giving from the traditional IRA. One of the things that's important to know is that there's something called a required minimum distribution, so an RMD, required minimum distribution. That's a big reason why you should make this qualified charitable distribution. Once you reach age 72, the IRS makes you take money from your IRA. You can't just leave all your money in your IRA forever and let it grow and grow and grow and pass it on. It's got to be taxed. And at the age 72, well, if you turn 70 and a half before January 1st, you have to do it. So it's that we pushed it up a little bit, but anyway, between 70 and 72, you're required to take this out. And the amount that you're required to take each year is determined on how much you have in your IRA, so the value of your retirement account, factored by your age and your life expectancy. And so that's what your personal RMD is. And your financial planner can help you determine what your specific RMD is. And so this qualified charitable distribution rule allows you to deduct your required distribution, to take out that required amount and deduct that from your tax return, and if you give that money to charity. And so it lowers your adjusted gross income and reduces your income taxes if it's transferred to the charity. You don't want to withdraw it and then write a check. You want to have it sent directly to them. Now, the reason why this is a really big deal is one, it decreases your taxable income, so you save on taxes. But if you don't take that full amount, you get penalized 50% of that RMD. So if you're required to take $100,000 and you don't take it, you're going to be taxed $50,000 for not taking it. You have to take it out. So better to take out, use what you need, and what you don't need, donate it to charity versus getting penalized. So this is a great way for you to be able to help the charity, support the causes that you care about the most, and also avoid penalties and save yourself some taxes.
So, Mary Catherine, that's all good, but what if you're not 70? I'm not 70, you're not 70.
Right, well, it's never too early to start learning and planning so that we are prepared when our time comes. But also, I know for me, my mom is over 70, so I've been able to talk to her about this and about how to make charitable gifts from her IRA, and how that's a good way for her to decrease her taxable income and meet that required minimum distribution. So think about the older folks in your life, your parents or neighbors, and special people in your life that are over 70, and you can help them to make some smart charitable choices. And just know when it's your turn, you'll be better prepared. And speaking of preparing and planning, you can take really important steps today to plan for the future and plan for when you are no longer here. And what is your legacy? What will be your legacy when you're gone? Writing a will, creating a last will and testament is the best way to make important plans for you, for your family, to ensure the security of your family, for your pets. You know, think about if you passed away tomorrow and you have a dog or cat, that making sure people know what your intentions are for that pet. And you can also create an enduring legacy that reflects your lifelong values. You can set aside a percentage of your estate, not only to help your children, but also, or your grandchildren or your nieces and nephews, but also set aside a percentage to support the organizations and the nonprofits and the causes that matter the most to you. So through a will, it's not just about where does my money go, but also setting up guardians for your children. If you have children that are under 18, what happens to them, both their legal guard, the financial power of attorney, the support guardians, beneficiaries for your life insurance. So who gets the money from that? Like I said, plan for your pets and what you want to happen with them, and the charities that matter most to you. You can set aside a percentage or an amount for them. Definitely want to write a will. So at Charitable Service, we believe that these are really important opportunities for our supporters, and we heard from folks that sometimes these things seem overwhelming, or I don't know where to start. So Charitable Service has partnered with a group called Free Will, and we've provided 3 new tools on our website that can help you plan. So on the CWS Global website, under Ways to Give, you can find all of these. Plus, I've put the links here to these different tools. We'll put it in the chat, hopefully, if we can get those in there. So when you're ready, so if you say, you know, I'm 72, I'd like to give a gift, or, you know, we have supporters from 18 to 80 who say, I need to update my will, or I need to write a will. When you're ready, all you have to do is go online and you can start the process for all 3 of these right there on our secure website. Or for the IRA and the stock tools, there's also, you can just send that link to your financial advisor and they can start the process for you on the website. So really easy, send that to your state attorney or your financial advisor. You know, earlier, Heather, when you asked me about, can you donate stock to, with a designation, like to a crop walk or something, that's why this tool is so important, because in the process of using these tools, you'll be prompted to tell us your wishes for how you want your gift to be used. You know, many times when you just go through your bank representative, or maybe you're on your E-Trade account or your Robinhood account and you're moving stock around, you're transferring that information for that it's you, that who you want it to support, that information doesn't get transferred to the charity of choice. And so those gifts are made without anybody knowing what's going on, or how you want them. Just to give you a little example, my mom had some stock that she wanted to sell and give a gift to her church. And so in her yearly meeting with her financial advisor, she said, well, I'd like to give that stock to the church. And so the financial planner had their assistant put together the paperwork, sent it to the church, but there was my mom's name wasn't on the paperwork. The intention, my mom wanted it to go to a special program that she'd always volunteered with at the church. There's nothing about that on the paperwork. And my mom was surprised she didn't hear anything from the church, because it was a transformational gift. It was a much bigger gift than what she usually gives to the church. So she called, and the church said, I don't know what stock was it that you sold? And my mom said, I don't remember the name of the stock. It came from my bank, Wells Fargo. And you imagine a church gets lots of gifts, and it took them so long to find that gift. And the only reason that the church found it and made the connection was that my mom was persistent. And you shouldn't have to do that as a donor. You shouldn't have to chase that gift down. And so we made these tools so that you can easily make your wishes known, and we are able to respect your choices and do that quickly and easily. So really important to kind of go through these, use these tools. The will writing tool that we have, it takes less than 20 minutes. I did this for our family and updated our will. It's super easy. You go online, it asks you questions, and you answer all the questions, and then it says, okay, you're done now, print out your forms. And it takes all the information that you provided and combines it with the precise legal language and legal forms that you need, and provides it back to you in a printable format. And so then I just printed it out, and then what you have to do to make it legally binding is, and to make it official, is to sign it and initial the document in person with 2 witnesses, 2 people that aren't related to you or who aren't in your will. So 2 people who won't benefit from your will. So you have your witnesses, and then so you have them watch you while you sign it, they sign it, and then you stick it somewhere safe in your firebox or Social Security, or your somewhere safe in your house or in a security box. So that's a super easy tool for you, totally free. The IRA donation tool, in the past, making a QCD or a qualified charitable distribution was a pretty complex process involving contacting your financial custodian and wrangling the correct paperwork. But with this tool that we have with Free Will, it's easier than ever. So you just, like with the will, you just input your information about what your intended gift is. You put it in online, and then we provide you with the forms when you're done. The forms are all filled in, and from there you just follow the directions to print, sign, and mail it in, and then we take care of the rest. And then for the stock donation tool, probably less than 10 minutes. We've worked really hard to streamline the process. So you just put in the name of the stock, how many shares. Our tool does the work to figure out what the market value is at that time. You complete and sign your form. You can do it completely online, or if you want, you can do it by hand at your own pace and print out the forms and give them to your financial institution. Either way, you can do it online. It's totally secure. Everything's encrypted, or you can print it, fill it out, and hand it to your financial institution to then send to us. As soon as we get the notification, we sell that stock immediately so that we're getting the value of the stock when you decide to make that gift, and then we can start putting it to work, making a difference in the way that you've designated. So 3 easy tools to help you have an impact in the world and leave a legacy. So thank you. This picture has nothing to do with estate planning or big gifts. I just love this sassy woman who has a better life thanks to CWS supporters, and so I wanted to include her in there. She has a better life because people like you are so compassionate and caring. Thank you. Thank you for being having a generous heart for those in need. And thanks for listening today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via the chat, like Heather talked about. You can also type in, I'd like to talk to someone, and one of our staff can give you a call to answer your questions. You also see here our phone number, or you can email us, and someone will get back to you. Also on that website, I showed you those links, or if you go to cwsglobal.org, ways to give, for each of those, it goes through even more detail on the benefits of these different types of giving, and answers other questions for you. So feel free to reach out if you need anything. Heather, are there any other housekeeping things or anything?
Well, I too would like to thank everybody. I like this. I love this picture. I like her her little hip sticking out. It brings joy to my face. Thank you, everybody. What I wanted to say is there is a handout when in your toolbox. There should be a handout, And we also put the links, those 3 links, into the chat. If by chance they're not there or not active, don't panic. All Church World Service staff has those links. If you can get to one of us, we can get you those links, or you can, like Mary Catherine said, call the number, email info, go to our website. Now, you will get a link. You do get a link that allows you to click on and register for this webinar. That link is an active webinar, or an active link to the webinar, and it will stay active. So if you have a sister you think is interested, or you want to share this with your financial planner or your grandmother, send them that link, and they can watch it, and you know, they can watch it, and they can make their will. With that, I will say thank you again, and thank you to Mary Catherine, and everybody. Just have a great day, and that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.